Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. From NFL News Now, the Philadelphia Eagles walked out of Lincoln Financial Field on Monday night with another hard-fought victory, this time over the Green Bay Packers, in a grinded-out 10-7 win that showcased one of the nastiest defensive performances of the season. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't the type of highlight reel game that gets plastered all over social media with Jalen Hurts launching deep balls to A.J. Brown or Devonta Smith dancing down the sideline. No. This was a slugfest, a statement from a defense that came to shut things down, while the offense simply managed enough to get across the finish line, and yet, somehow, instead of celebrating a clutch win against a legitimate NFC contender, the national conversation managed to spin in another direction entirely, away from the scoreboard, away from the team's 7th win of the season, and directly into the never-ending drama surrounding the chemistry between Jalen Hurts and his superstar wideout A.J. Brown. Now, if you've followed the Eagles this year, you already know that every week seems to come with its own media circus. One week it's Hurts' decision-making, the next, it's Nick Sirianni's play calling. And this week, despite sitting comfortably at the top of the NFC standings, the hot topic turned into Emmanuel Acho's latest take, if you can even call it that, about the so-called Hurts versus Brown dynamic. The former Eagles linebacker, now turned TV analyst, went on F1's Speakeasy show and dropped what might be one of the most absurd soundbites of the season. What works for Jalen Hurts doesn't work for A.J. Brown, and what works for A.J. Brown doesn't work for Jalen Hurts, Acho said, pausing for effect before delivering his punchline. We've all got to come to the realization that Jalen Hurts winning means A.J. Brown not eating. Let's just pause right there, because that statement, that Jalen Hurts' success somehow directly takes away from A.J. Brown's production, doesn't just miss the mark. It completely ignores the last 2 years of football history. It's the kind of take that sounds dramatic enough to go viral, but completely collapses under the weight of actual facts. Think back to 2022, when A.J. Brown first landed in Philadelphia. That season, Hurts was in full MVP form, leading the Eagles all the way to the Super Bowl. And A.J. Brown, he put up career-best numbers. We're talking 1,496 receiving yards, 88 catches, and 11 touchdowns. Those numbers didn't happen in spite of Hurts' success. They were part of it. Brown was Hurts' go-to guy, his trusted weapon, the player who turned tight window throws into highlight moments. That connection between Hurts and Brown was electric, and it didn't slow down in 2023 either. Brown followed that up with 1,456 yards and a ridiculous 106 receptions, once again proving that when Hurts is thriving, Brown is usually right there with him. But here we are in 2025, and one quiet night against Green Bay is suddenly being spun into a problem. A.J. Brown, still working his way back from a hamstring injury that kept him sidelined in Week 8 against the Giants, finished Monday with just 2 catches for 13 yards. It wasn't the type of night that gets fantasy football owners excited. But that's football. Sometimes it's your turn to be the decoy. Sometimes the matchup just isn't in your favor. The Packers bracketed him all night, forcing Hurts to look elsewhere and lean on quick, conservative throws to keep drives alive. Meanwhile, the defense did the heavy lifting, shutting down Jordan Love and forcing Green Bay into mistake after mistake. That's how you win. Ugly in the NFL, but according to Acho's logic, that somehow means Brown is being sacrificed for Hurts to succeed. It's an argument that not only underestimates Hurts' leadership, but also undermines what makes the Eagles' offense so dangerous in the first place. Balance. This isn't a Madden video game where every play is designed to pump up one player's stats. The Eagles have built a roster that can win in multiple ways. Sometimes it's Hurts running the ball and controlling the clock. Sometimes it's Brown torching secondaries down the field. Other times, it's D'Andre Swift grinding out tough yards between the tackles or Dallas Goedert making key third down catches. Winning teams adapt. That's what championship caliber football looks like. Let's not forget that before Brown's injury, he was heating up in a big way. In the 2 games before tweaking that hamstring, he racked up to 101 yards on 10 catches with 2 touchdowns. That's dominance. That's a receiver taking over games. So to claim that Hurts' success inherently limits Brown's opportunities doesn't just ignore the obvious chemistry they've shared, it completely erases it. There's a reason. Brown has put up over 1,000 yards in each of his last 3 seasons with Hurts, even when the Offense hasn't been firing on all cylinders now, sure. This season has been a little different. The offense hasn't looked as sharp, and Hurts hasn't had as many explosive plays as he did during his near MVP campaign. But that's not because he and Brown can't coexist. It's because defenses have adjusted, injuries have piled up, and the Eagles are still figuring out how to evolve their attack mid-season. That's normal. It happens to every contender, and yet, the second Brown stat line dips. Here come the hot takes about locker room tension or chemistry issues. It's lazy analysis disguised as insight. The truth is, the Eagles are 7-2, sitting atop the NFC, and still controlling their own destiny for the No. 1 seed. That's what matters. The formula that's gotten them there, strong defense, efficient offense, and Hurts calm under pressure, is working. A.J. Brown's role in that formula might shift week to week, but he remains one of the most valuable receivers in football, and his presence alone changes how defenses line up, even when he's not catching the ball. He's dictating coverage and opening lanes for others. That's not a sign of decline. That's a sign of respect. What's funny about Akko's take is that it tries to frame football like it's a zero-sum game, where one player's shine dims the others, but the NFL doesn't work that way. Especially not in Philly, when Hurts thrives. It's usually because his receivers are winning their matchups. His offensive line is giving him time, and his coaches are calling plays that suit his strengths. When Brown thrives, it's because Hurts is trusting him to make plays in tight coverage, putting the ball where only he can reach it. Their success is intertwined. They lift each other. That's the beauty of their connection. It's built on trust, not competition. It's worth remembering that Brown and Hurts are close off the field, too. They've been vocal about their friendship, their shared mindset, and their mutual respect. This isn't a diva wideout versus quarterback power struggle. This is to elite athletes trying to chase greatness together. Brown has never been shy about wanting the ball. That's what great receivers do. But he's also never been the type to throw his quarterback under the bus, and Hurts, for his part, has always been steady, refusing to get caught up in outside noise. He's said it countless times. The only thing that matters is winning. And when you've got that kind of leadership at quarterback, it trickles down through the entire locker room. Of course, controversy sells. A 10-7 defensive slugfest doesn't make as many headlines as a sideline blow-up or a feud narrative between stars, but at some point, the conversation around the Eagles needs to evolve. They've proven over and over that they can win in different ways. They've proven that Hurts and Brown can coexist, dominate, and carry this team deep into January. They've proven that when adversity hits, whether it's injuries, slow starts, or media distractions, they respond. That's the identity of this team, and maybe that's what really bothers some analysts. The Eagles don't fit into the easy storylines. They don't play perfect football, but they keep finding ways to win. They're gritty, they're unpredictable. They're built for the long haul, not just highlight reels. A.J. Brown's numbers might dip for a game or two, but if that means the Eagles are winning, you better believe he'll take that trade every single time, because at the end of the day, the only eating that matters in Philadelphia is winning. And right now, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are both feasting on that, and that's the irony of it all. Akko's take might sound bold on TV, but the evidence tells a completely different story. The numbers don't lie, the chemistry doesn't lie, and the wins certainly don't lie. Hurts and Brown have already proven that they can succeed together, and they'll keep doing it, one gritty win at a time. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. The Philadelphia Eagles are making waves in the NFL rumor mill, and if what's buzzing around the league proves true, the franchise may have just added a transformative piece to their defensive puzzle. Word on the street is that the Eagles are eyeing none other than Lamar Jackson, the all-pro defensive powerhouse, as a potential game-changer for their secondary and pass rush schemes. Yes, you heard that right, Jackson, whose reputation has been built on speed, instinct, and the uncanny ability to read offenses before anyone else even knows what's happening, might be heading to the city of brotherly love, and the implications could be enormous. Analysts, insiders, and fans alike are whispering about what this could mean for Philly's defense, which has been strong but still looking for that elite, game-breaking edge. Lamar Jackson isn't just another defensive player. He's a player who can dictate the tempo of the game, force turnovers at pivotal moments, and make quarterbacks think twice about any pocket presence. The buzz is that Eagles defensive coordinator has been strategizing for months. envisioning how Jackson's skill set could perfectly complement the team's aggressive, fast-paced defensive philosophy. Imagine the impact, a secondary that can cover tight ends and wideouts with nearly unmatched fluidity, combined with a linebacker unit ready to exploit the chaos Jackson creates. The rumor mill suggests that Jackson has been eyeing a team with championship aspiration, and Philly checks all the boxes. The Eagles have a dynamic offense, a quarterback who's maturing into a reliable leader, and a city with rabid fan support that thrives on playoff intensity. Adding a talent like Jackson to the mix doesn't just shore up weaknesses. It signals an audacious statement that the Eagles are serious about reshaping the defensive landscape in the NFC now. While nothing is confirmed and every movement is technically speculation at this point, the chatter has intensified after anonymous sources hinted that Jackson has been in discreet conversations with Eagles management. The talks reportedly focus on scheme fit, team culture, and the potential for a contract that reflects Jackson's all-pro caliber status. If this deal were to materialize, it could mark a seismic shift in the balance of power within the NFC East. The Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders would suddenly face a defense that's not just tough, but almost predictive. A unit capable of turning game plans upside down with a single forced fumble or interception. There's a subtle excitement in Philly, a feeling among insiders that this isn't just a typical acquisition rumor. The whispers hint that Jackson himself is intrigued by the city, the fan base, and the chance to make a lasting mark in one of the league's most storied franchises. It's one thing to read about potential trades or acquisitions in passing. It's another to feel the intensity of a team ready to elevate its ceiling. And according to the insiders, that's exactly what's happening here. Jackson's presence could change not only the defensive schemes, but the overall mentality of the Eagles on both sides of the ball. When a player of his caliber steps onto the field, quarterbacks alter their reads. Offensive coordinators rethink routes, and running backs second-guess every cut. Philly fans have started creating unofficial countdowns, hypothetical jersey mock-ups, and even highlight reels projecting Jackson in midnight green. Even though the team hasn't made any public statements, the excitement is palpable, with social media buzzing nonstop. You can practically see the speculative threads. What if Jackson pairs with the Eagles' existing pass rushers? What if he leads the team in forced turnovers this season? The imagination runs wild because this isn't just a signing. It's a statement that Philly wants to redefine what it means to be elite defensively. Coaches are reportedly studying film nonstop, imagining formations that allow Jackson to roam freely, disguise coverages, and set traps for unsuspecting quarterbacks. The strategy talks suggest a hybrid approach, one that leverages Jackson's instincts and elite athleticism in coverage while still letting him unleash pressure and blitz packages that could leave offensive lines scrambling. The rumor buzz emphasizes that Jackson isn't the type to fit into a rigid system. He's the type that transforms the system itself, forcing opponents to adapt or suffer the consequences. Of course, any potential deal would involve delicate negotiations. Sources speculate that Jackson's camp is looking for assurances on usage, defensive philosophy, and long-term competitiveness. He's not just chasing a payday, he's chasing relevance, legacy, and the chance to play in a market that values defensive excellence as much as offensive flash. The Eagles, for their part, are said to be willing to explore creative solutions, including performance incentives, leadership roles, and long-term vision to lure Jackson to Philly. It's not just about signing a player, it's about establishing a defensive culture around one of the league's most dynamic defenders. Imagine the locker room conversations once this happens. Young players absorbing his instinctive playstyle, veterans recalibrating their approach, and coaches redesigning playbooks to maximize the chaos Jackson brings to the field. The ripple effects extend far beyond a single season, planting the seeds for sustained dominance. Meanwhile, the league is abuzz with speculation. Rival teams are reportedly watching the situation closely, analyzing film, and trying to anticipate how they'd need to adjust if Jackson truly joins the Eagles. Analysts are debating the strategic implications in real time. Does this push Philly into the conversation as a Super Bowl favorite? Does it force teams to overthink offensive schemes? Could Jackson's arrival catalyze a wave of defensive trades or free agent movements across the league? Every rumor adds another layer to the intrigue, and the narrative is only growing more captivating. In Philly, there's a sense of urgency, a feeling that the Eagles might be on the verge of something historic. If the right pieces fall into place, it's not just about a single game, a single season, or even a single championship. It's about redefining the identity of the team around a generational defensive talent. The Eagles are rumored to be positioning themselves as the epicenter of defensive innovation, and Jackson is the key piece. Fans, insiders, and pundits alike are circling this story with bated breath. Social media speculation is at an all-time high. Forums are lit up with tactical diagrams, and highlight compilations imagining Jackson in Eagles green are going viral. Even casual observers are beginning to grasp the potential magnitude of this acquisition, whispering that the team isn't just aiming to win, they're aiming to dominate. And while nothing is finalized, the atmosphere around the team is electric, filled with anticipation, hope, and just a hint of audacity. The rumor of Lamar Jackson heading to Philadelphia might be just that for now, a rumor. But if even half of it comes true, the NFC East, and perhaps the entire NFL, could be in for one of the most thrilling defensive chapters in recent memory. The Eagles have a chance not only to elevate their ceiling but to rewrite expectations entirely. And at the center of this swirling speculation stands Jackson, whose reputation, talent, and instincts could transform Philly's defense into something legendary. In the end, this isn't just a story about a player, it's a story about ambition, strategy, and the kind of calculated risk that defines championship-caliber franchises. If the rumors solidify into reality, the 2025 season could become the year Philadelphia's defense took flight in ways no one saw coming, with Lamar Jackson leading the charge, elevating not just tackles and interceptions, but the very standard of excellence across the league. For now, fans can only imagine, debate, and speculate, but in the world of NFL rumors, there's no higher thrill than the possibility that one player could completely change the trajectory of a franchise. And right now, all eyes are on Philly, all ears are attuned to whispers, and all imaginations are captivated by the tantalizing possibility. Lamar Jackson in midnight green, rewriting the narrative of Eagles defense forever. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates, only here on NFL News Now.